And joining us here in the studio this morning is Bobby Ghosh. She's Deputy International Editor for Time Magazine and one of our go-to folks, especially on the region. So nice to have you in this morning. You had said at one point yesterday that Libya could actually have an easier road to hoe here than even in Egypt or Tunisia. But yet there are a lot of people who would say, wait a minute, this is even just looking at what happened yesterday with Gaddafi. It looks like there's not a lot of organization there. Yeah,
they lack institutions. This man ruled this country for 42 years pretty much by himself. They lack institutions, and they're going to need help with that. But they have a very small population, 6.5 million people. They have enormous amounts of oil. And this is an amazing statistic in this day and age when so many countries around the world are worrying about debt. Libya's grand total debt is $0. So they've got a clean sheet on which to start. They're not looking for handouts from the rest of the world, but they're going to need a lot of advice, a lot of consulting, a lot of expertise, which the rest of the world is perfectly capable of providing.
But as you know, we're talking about dozens of tribes that haven't gotten along in a long time. This is just a lot of deal-making that needs to be done here?
A lot of it. But the good news is that that's what tribes do. Deal-making is what they've done for thousands of years. And they have a pot of money, giant pot of money in the table. So deals are not that hard to make when there's enough wealth to be shared. There'll be issues. I don't want to make this sound like it'll be Christmas. It'll be hard. For every 2 steps forward, there'll be a step back. Some tribes will feel that they should have got a bigger share of the pot. There'll be occasional bouts of violence even. That's possible. But unlike Egypt, which is desperately poor and has a huge population, Tunisia doesn't have any oil. Libya has plenty going for it.
Who comes in and helps with that? Diplomatically, what is the best choice there for the Libyan people to get them to accept some of these changes as well? I mean, is it the United States or is it other nations in the region?
I think the British and the French, who took the lead in the NATO campaign, will probably be out there first. And the French and the Italians have long-standing connections to those countries. The U.S. will obviously play a very major role. They'll expect the United Nations to be involved as well. But probably the most significant role will be played by Libyans who lived and grew up around the world outside of Libya. A lot of Libyans, in fact, many fighters are people who grew up in France. And there's a huge Libyan American community that's just raring to go. A lot of people in the Transitional Council are actually Libyan Americans. So there are already Americans participating, if you like, in the rebuilding of Libya.
Can we talk real quickly here about Syria and Yemen? Because the Arab Spring-wise, these are two countries where the dictators remain.
Yes.
Will they go soon?
I think with Syria...
I know they're different cases, but...
Yeah, I think Syria, it'll take longer. Yemen, it does look like things are coming to a boil. They have, of course, been doing so for quite a while. But across the Arab world, dictators as well as rebels will both be looking at what happened in Libya and thinking we got to strengthen our resolve.
They're both thinking that, which means that that those in power are also thinking, I have to strengthen my resolve. I don't want to end up like a Gaddafi. So could this, in fact, be worse for the people specifically in Syria?
It could very well be. I think Bashar Assad is looking at those pictures and saying, I don't want to be dead and bloody on a gurney somewhere. I'm going to crack down even harder on the people who are rising up against him.
Where does he go? He has nowhere to go. Nobody's going to, I mean, is somebody going to take him at this point?
Well, the Saudis will probably take him. The Saudis take almost anybody, but that's not where he wants to go. He thinks he has a chance, and he has it's not just one man. He has a large number of people around him who depend on him, and their survival is important to him as well.
He wants to go to Syria, which means stay where he's at. Bobby Ghosh, always good to have you here.